Welcome to this crucial video on the hidden but urgent risks of working without pay while on STEM OPT. Today, we will explain why unpaid work is not just a payroll issue, but an immediate immigration status crisis, how the unemployment clock works, the long-term risks to H-1B and green card applications, and the exact steps you must take right now. To get started, let me set the agenda so you can follow along clearly. Here is our roadmap. First, we will cover why unpaid work on STEM OPT violates the program rules. Next, we will break down how the 90-day unemployment clock starts the moment wages stop. Then, we will examine how unpaid periods damage future H-1B or green card applications. After that, we will walk through a critical action plan to protect your status. We will also clarify common myths versus facts, test your understanding with a couple of quick quizzes, and finally summarize key points and share an important disclaimer. Let us begin with the core rule. STEM OPT employment must be compensated and aligned with bona fide, industry standard wages. If an employer stops paying you, continuing to work does not maintain your status. Instead, it creates a violation because STEM OPT is designed to be paid, structured training. In other words, effort does not equal compliance. Only lawful, documented compensation does. With that foundation, let us dig deeper into how this triggers the unemployment clock. Here is the key interpretation. When wages stop, your employment is treated as unemployment for SEVI's purposes. Even if you are performing work or receiving certain benefits like health insurance, the lack of wages means your STEM OPT employment does not meet requirements. Consequently, you should expect this period to be recognized as unemployment. Documentation such as pay stubs, W-2s, and offer letters will be central to showing whether your employment remained compliant. Now, let us visualize the decision flow when pay stops so you can act quickly and correctly. This flowchart shows the precise moment wages stop as the trigger. First, you determine whether you are still within the 90-day unemployment allowance. Next, you notify your DSO and make sure SEVIS reflects the end of the non-paying job. Then, you immediately begin an urgent search for a compliant, paid role. If you find one promptly, you report the new employer and begin paid work. Otherwise, before day 90, you consider departure or a lawful status change. If you are already beyond the 90 days, you face potential out-of-status consequences and should seek counsel urgently. With that decision map in mind, let us explore the unemployment clock itself. Under the STEM OPT rules, you have a total of 90 cumulative days of unemployment across the 24-month extension. The moment wages stop, that clock begins. Importantly, hours worked without pay do not pause or reset this clock. Because each unpaid day consumes your limited unemployment allowance, you must act immediately to find a paid, compliant position. Furthermore, lingering in unpaid status can risk a status violation and, in some circumstances, may implicate unlawful presence issues depending on case-specific factors. Next, we will present a timeline to help you visualize milestones between day 0 and day 90. This timeline breaks down the 90-day window into manageable phases. On day 0, pay stops and you notify your DSO immediately and update your SEVIS record. During days 1 through 30, you run an urgent job search and compile documentation. From day 31 to 60, you escalate applications, expand networking, and prepare contingency options. Between days 61 and 85, you make a final push to secure a paid offer or prepare for departure or a lawful status change. By day 90, if no compliant paid role is secured, you must cease non-compliant work and either depart the United States or have a status change properly in place. Now that the timing is clear, let us address common myths versus facts. Here are frequent misconceptions. First, the belief that working without pay still counts as employment is incorrect. On STEM OPT, unpaid periods are treated as unemployment. Second, health insurance or other benefits do not replace the requirement for wages. Third, assuming you can repair the issue later, for instance during an H-1B petition, is risky because official records such as W-2s and pay stubs reveal unpaid gaps that can lead to denials. Finally, while filing for state unemployment may be a labor right, it also formally confirms unemployment and counts toward the 90-day limit, which heightens the urgency to find compliant employment. With these clarified, let us move into the specific actions you should take immediately. Follow these steps in order. First, contact your DSO immediately to report the lack of pay and understand reporting procedures. Second, end the non-paying employment in SEVIS and cease working without compensation. Third, begin an urgent search for a paid compliant role. Fourth, preserve comprehensive records such as pay stubs, offer letters, and employer communications. Fifth, remember that filing for state unemployment benefits formally confirms you are unemployed, which counts toward the 90-day limit. Sixth, if you are approaching day 90 without a compliant offer, prepare to depart the United States or pursue a lawful status change. Finally, consider obtaining advice from qualified immigration counsel, as individual facts can significantly affect outcomes. Next, let us organize these actions into a quick reference checklist. This table provides a concise checklist. It lists each step, who is responsible, what evidence to retain, the target deadline, and special notes. The first two actions, notify your DSO, and end the non-paying job in SEVI, should occur immediately. The subsequent rows outline a timeline for your job search and contingency planning, culminating in decisive action before day 90 if no paid role is secured. With the checklist in hand, let us test your understanding with a quick quiz. Question: if your employer stops paying wages but continues your health insurance, does this keep you in valid STEM OPT employment? Options are: yes, benefits count as compensation. B, no, it is treated as unemployment. C, only if you work fewer hours. And D, only if your DSO approves it. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is B. Health insurance or other benefits do not replace the requirement for wages on STEM OPT. Therefore, a lack of pay is treated as unemployment, and the unemployment clock begins. Next, let us try one more question related to confirming unemployment. Question: does filing for state unemployment benefits count toward your 90-day STEM OPT unemployment limit? Options are: A, no, it has no effect on immigration. B, yes, it formally confirms unemployment. C, only if you receive payments for more than 2 weeks. And D, it depends on the state, not immigration rules. You may pause the video now to consider your answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is B. Filing for state unemployment benefits is a labor right. However, it also formally confirms you are unemployed, and that time counts toward your 90-day limit. With that clarified, let us examine how unpaid gaps can jeopardize future H-1B or green card applications. When you later apply for H-1B or permanent residency, adjudicators will examine your history. They will review W-2s, pay stubs, and SEVIS records and look for consistency. If your records show a period when you claimed employment but received no wages, that discrepancy is strong evidence of noncompliance. As a result, it can lead to requests for evidence or denials and may force you to leave the United States. Conversely, a clear, consistent record of paid, compliant employment supports future approvals. Now, to help you cement the main lessons, let us summarize the key points. These are the essentials. First, unpaid work on STEM OPT is treated as unemployment because wages are required. Second, the 90-day unemployment clock begins immediately when pay stops. Third, benefits do not replace wages. Fourth, filing for state unemployment confirms unemployment and thus counts against your 90-day limit. Fifth, unpaid gaps can harm future H-1B or green card applications through the documentation trail. Finally, timely action, notify your DSO, end the non-paying job, and secure paid employment is crucial. Please note this important disclaimer. This video is for general educational purposes only and is not legal advice. Immigration consequences vary based on individual facts and changing regulations. You should consult your DSO regarding SEVIS and school procedures and consider speaking with a qualified immigration attorney for advice tailored to your situation. With that in mind, let us wrap up with a concise summary and your next steps. To conclude, respond the same-day pay stops by notifying your DSO, updating SEVIS, and ceasing unpaid work. Then, run an urgent, targeted job search for a paid, compliant position. Maintain complete documentation to support future petitions. If you do not secure a paid offer by day 90, cease non-compliant work and either depart or pursue a lawful status change. Finally, let us close with a brief thank you and a call to action. Thank you for watching. If you found this useful, please like the video, share it with a friend who might need it, and subscribe for more clear, actionable guidance. Let us know your questions or experiences in the comments, because your story could help someone else make the right move at the right time.